Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah. This chapter is called Al-Fatihah, which can mean the opener of the book. Therefore, the prayer should begin with the recitation of this chapter. This has been advised in a narration found in Sunan and Nasai, number 910. It has been referred to as the mother of the book by none other than the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This is mentioned in a narration found in Sunan and Nasai, number 915. In a narration found in Sunan Ibn Majah, number 3785, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has declared Al-Fatihah to be the greatest chapter of the Holy Quran. It is a possible reason why the prayer is considered defective if this chapter is not recited in it. This is supported by a narration found in Sunan and Nasai, number 910. Some believe it is also called the mother of the book, as it contains the meaning of the entire Holy Quran. This has been mentioned in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Volume 1, page 43. So in reality, whoever understands and acts on the teachings of Chapter 1, Al-Fatihah, has understood and acted on the whole Holy Quran. The Holy Quran consists of 7 subjects, all of which have been briefly mentioned in Chapter 1, Al-Fatihah. The first is monotheism, meaning there is none worthy of worship or obedience except Allah, the Exalted. Al-Fatihah begins by mentioning this subject. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 2.
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds.
The second subject mentioned in the Holy Quran and indicated in Al-Fatihah is prophethood. In the 6th verse of Al-Fatihah, Allah, the Exalted, mentions the path of those He has blessed. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 6.
Guide us along the straight path.
This path, which leads to paradise, is the path of the holy prophets, peace be upon them. The people who have been blessed are mentioned in another verse of the Holy Quran. Chapter 4 An-Nisa, verse 69.
But the prophets, the people of truth, the martyrs and the righteous, what honorable company.
The third subject mentioned in the Holy Quran is the worship and obedience of Allah, the Exalted, and is mentioned in verse 5 of Al-Fatihah. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 5.
It is you we worship and you we ask for help.
The fourth subject mentioned in the Holy Quran consists of promises of blessings and warnings of punishment. This subject is referenced in verse 4 of Al-Fatihah, which reminds mankind that these promises and warnings will one day be witnessed by all. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 4.
Sovereign of the Day of Recompense.
The fifth subject discussed in the Holy Quran consists of stories and lessons. The lesson which is specifically mentioned in Al-Fatihah, verses 6 and 7, is how Allah, the Exalted, rewarded the pious and punished the sinners of the past nations. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verses 6 to 7.
Guide us to the straight path. The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have earned your anger or of those who are astray.
The sixth subject discussed in the Holy Quran mentions the elements of the Day of Resurrection. This is when Allah, the Exalted, will resurrect the entire creation after they have died, in order to judge the deeds they performed during their lives on earth. This is indicated in verse 4 of Al-Fatihah. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 4.
Sovereign of the Day of Recompense.
The seventh and final subject discussed in the Holy Quran and is summarized in Al-Fatihah consists of supplications to Allah, the Exalted. Al-Fatihah teaches mankind how to correctly supplicate to Allah, the Exalted. One should first praise and glorify Allah, the Exalted, according to His infinite status. This is best achieved by using the statements mentioned in the Holy Quran or the narration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This is indicated in Chapter 1, verses 2 to 3 of Al-Fatihah.
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. The entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
Demonstrating weakness and humility is an essential part of supplication. This is shown in Chapter 1, verse 5 of Al-Fatihah.
It is you we worship and you we ask for help.
The next two verses, 6 and 7, is the supplication itself. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verses 6 to 7.
Guide us to the straight path. The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have earned your anger or of those who are astray.
Asking for right guidance and refuge from the evil path is a supplication Muslims must make often, as it is the most important goal to achieve. The placing of this chapter at the beginning of the Holy Quran is a sign that Allah, the Exalted, urges mankind to recite, study, and act on the Holy Quran with the aim of discovering the right course in life, i.e. the straight path mentioned in this chapter. Meaning, one should not recite and study the Holy Quran with mundane and worldly motives. Instead, they should let this chapter guide their intention and actions in obtaining success in both worlds. This chapter also makes it clear that right guidance through every situation in this world and the hereafter is only obtained through practically obeying Allah, the Exalted, as a path is not useful until it is journeyed down practically. This sincere obedience, which has been indicated in the final 2 verses of this chapter, involves using the blessings one has been granted in ways pleasing to Allah, the Exalted. This is outlined in the rest of the Holy Quran, which chapter 1 Al-Fatihah leads to, and is practically shown in the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. It is strange how many Muslims regularly recite this chapter, yet fail to practically obey Allah, the Exalted. The right guidance mentioned in this chapter, the chapter they recite regularly, cannot be obtained without actions.